Good morning. So, today we have a few things we got to cover. Oh, I hope y'all like the new starting soon screen. I figured that would be kind of useful to kind of like help people go. Hold on. Still trying to figure out my setup, so a little bit of echo came through. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I caught it, and I was not super happy with it. Anyway, so I gotta pop up the right screen. All right. So essentially, I'm thinking about putting this in theater mode instead of a regular normal mode. I think it'll just look better for everyone involved. Excuse me. Okay, but yeah, I have a starting screen now. And the reason why I popped that on is really simple. Oh, wait, let me pop that off. And the reason why I put on the starting soon screen is so maybe we can allow some people in. Obviously, this is a very small show. Like, I have 0 viewers right now, which is fine. But as we get better and things improve, as we get better and things improve, I definitely want to how do you say? I want to go ahead and have a lot of the systems already in place. So, like, for example, we might have. So, obviously, as you get bigger, you want to give people a chance to kind of come in, check it out, look around the room. Oh, look at this, look at that, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Also, I have a second screen. Now, I have a portable monitor, I also have a big monitor, but I didn't feel like getting that all set up. But I'm using the portable monitor to monitor OBS. So I should be a little bit faster on the finger button things. I don't know. But yeah, the idea here is that I'm going to be a little bit faster with how everything works. Wait, I guess I'm going to put the chat right here. And I have the chat up. Oh, what? I'm learning how all this stuff works. There we go. That's better. Let me extend that. Perfect. Okay. Now I have the chat up at the same time I have everything else up. Which is awesome. Okay. I just learned how to do that literally just now. So that's pretty what's up. Anyway, so the idea here is to try to improve every stream a little bit. So right now, I guess today was the efficiency stream. If you were here last time, you noticed my quality went up, and that was obviously like bad the first episode, but I didn't understand all the settings until I forgot what his YouTube name is, but his Discord name is Super Noob, and he helped me like figure everything else out. And although his advice wasn't directly helpful for everything because there are a couple settings I just didn't have clicked on, it led eventually to me improving the show in a meaningful way. So thank you for that. But yeah, so today, now that we've covered all. Oh, by the way, I was thinking of a name for the show. I think the Paused Reps podcast is pretty good. PRP. Sunday coaching, because I try to do this on Sundays, but when I don't do it on Sundays, that wouldn't really work. Also, coffee and coaching, because part of the reason why I don't actually start at 10:30, which is the goal, is because I'm getting coffee. So, not getting it, I make it. Getting Starbucks and other shit is so expensive. When in reality, you can make all this stuff, right? Do you like whipped cream? Get some heavy whipping cream, get some sugar, get some cinnamon, throw that in a cup, get a little hand mixer. You have whipped cream. Do you like sweetened coffee? I found this little recipe by Coffee with Morgan. she has this little syrup thing. Right? It was for oat milk coffee, which I'm like, I don't give a crap about oat milk, but I like this idea of having like a syrup that you put at the bottom of your coffee and you mix it all in together, and that makes it really easy. It's just water, brown sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla, and you heat that up almost to a boil, and then you put it in like a container, and then you can pour it in your coffee whenever. And then obviously like get a coffee maker. All that stuff's relatively cheap, and it will save you way more money down the line than getting Starbucks or going out and getting coffee. Obviously, if it's a coffee date though, like you found a cute girl and you're like, hey, you want to go get some coffee? Then, go to a coffee place first and then invite her back to your place to make that super amazing tasting coffee. Boom, you got her. Or if you're a woman, you can do the same thing but opposite. I think. I think guys at the coffee dates. I don't really know. I would be, maybe. I don't know how to order coffee at places now that I know how to make my own. Because these don't have names. I make them up. Now that initial tangent is out of the way, let's get started. So today we're going to cover Holly Dolke. However the fuck you pronounce her name. Oh man, I always start cursing. It's like 11 minutes in. We're fine. We're going to talk about her. Her video is short, so I figured I'd just throw it in here. We should be able to get through it pretty fast, because we're going to skip through it a little bit, but that's mostly because there's not a lot that can be added from her video. Then we're going to look at Obi Vincent's barbell only leg workout, and then we're going to look at Hunter Chilton, which is kind of a cool name. Chilton? Her leg workout, just one of them. And we're going to coach up those last two a little bit. Not necessarily coach them up, but I guess kind of coach them up. Like, we're going to coach and we're going to explain maybe why they're doing this or doing that. And hopefully you get some good stuff out of this. I get good practice talking. We all win something. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Also, if you notice, because I have a second screen, I don't have to hop through OBS to show you the second screen. It's really cool. It's awesome stuff. Anyway, so we're going to start off with Holly Dolke, whatever. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, quick back workout. That doesn't match the theme because we're all doing like leg stuff. That is true. However, there's not really a reason. I guess because it's a shorter video. She has longer ones, but I want to keep this short because I do want to address her and like the type of videos she and other people make. But I don't want to dedicate a whole like show to it. So this is a short section at the beginning. We're going to hit it and we're going to move on with our day. So let's pop in our headphones and get started. I guess pop on because these are over the head. Whatever, it's fine. Let's just get going. I muted the desktop audio. 1 second.
Muscles looking toned and defined with this quick back work.
And I muted my laptop. That's incredible. I'm incredibly special.
Let's get those back muscles.
Whoa, hold on. Audio balancing. Remember, if you're making videos, audio balance. You don't want something too loud or too quiet. That's something I am learning personally.
Looking toned and defined with this
A little bit lower. There we go.
quick back workout today. This is only 5 minutes long, which is perfect to do if you are low on time, or you can even add this on to an end of a workout routine.
Okay, so a lot of people think you cannot get an effective workout in a short amount of time. I think you can. However, there are obvious caveats. Number one, if it's going to be 5 minutes, you will probably have to do more than one in a day. Like, you're not going to do, like, maybe if you do, like, oh, I'm going to do push-ups to failure. That's pretty good. Right? But how much are you really getting out of that? That's, like, some chest work. That's anterior delts. That's triceps. Not bad, but it could be better. Okay? So let's say you do that, and then maybe you come back and you do squats for 5 minutes. And then you do like pull-ups for 5 minutes. You can make this work. And you can do short workouts. Myo reps are a great way to do that. There are plenty of videos explaining it. I'm not going to explain it, but there is a book on it that's free. I think if it's not free, go buy it. It's a really small book. It's super helpful. I program most of my guys with it now because you get a lot of work with it in a short amount of time. Now, I don't recommend it for compound lifts, at least not your main barbell ones, but dumbbell work and bodyweight stuff, I highly recommend myo reps. Of course, there are other pause rep schemes and supersets and giant sets that save you a bunch of time because you're saving your rest for at the end. But these are all options to make a short workout. This is not going to be one of them. Okay, so this is something interesting. She has 1.6 million subscribers. I want you, the viewer, to guess why. Now, I'll do it for you. She looks good. You can get away in the fitness industry or sphere. If you look good, you can get away with a lot of stupid shit. Mike O'Hearn does it. He looks great. He's a little too big for my taste, and I used to look up to him, but his advice is all crap. This chick, you're gonna find out, yeah, she looks great. She's like, oh man, she's super hot. But, here's the thing, she doesn't know what she's talking about. So let's get started. Again, we're gonna try to get through this pretty quickly. Probably before we hit the 30-minute mark. And then we're gonna go through the other ones. And hopefully end around an hour and a half, hour 45. Who knows? I want this to be quality. But we are trying to get moving a little bit.
Hi guys, welcome to your 5-minute back workout. This is going to help to target the muscles all over the entire back. The up.
Remember, she said that. These are going to target all the muscles in the back. Remember this.
The middle and the lower. So for the first move, what I want you to do is I want you to be facing me on your knees. All we're going to be doing is pulling the arms down.
Okay, check this out. Now, I didn't have anything to say at this point. There's a reason why. A, I was sipping coffee. And B, what the fuck is she doing? I don't mean to be like super rude. I kind of do. Look, check this out. Okay? When you're doing, I don't even know how to explain, like, the goal of this. I guess the idea is that, oh, I'm squeezing my back, therefore I'm working it. But that's not true. Obviously, like, stand there and flex your bicep. And do that every day. Is it going to get bigger? Maybe a little bit. But probably not. And here's an interesting test you can do for anyone, like, training. Now, keep in mind, there are multiple ways to train. You don't have to just train for muscle growth. However, she said muscle targeting. So I don't know why you're targeting like certain muscles if you don't want them to grow or get stronger. So we're going to judge her on that idea. Number one, and this is important. There's no resistance. This isn't body weight resistance. This isn't, bands or actual weights. She's just kind of flapping around. What is this doing? It's burning calories, sure, but there are much more effective ways to do that. That are probably more fun. And number two.
And then we're going to be pushing them out. That's it. So push to the side.
Okay, here's the test. Look at her face. Does it look strained in any way? No, she's probably not doing anything. This isn't to say anytime you do anything when it comes to fitness or whatever, your face should be strained and like, but typically, your face should change a little bit. because you're working hard. And it's like, ooh, this is tough. Okay? I gotta grunt a little bit. I gotta clench my teeth. I have to, like, do something. This is nothing. Let me see. Yeah, we're looking at the comments because I think this is important for this kind of stuff. How are your arms dead? She's just flopping around. They can do when they're on their period? You mean like work out? Like a normal person? You see, this is the kind of stuff that she targets women who don't know what to do and how to approach it. And just look at this video. Muffin top workout. Okay. It's not like an unknown quantity that a lot of women are a little adverse to weight training. Look at this. Back burn. Better posture. We're going to talk about that next week, probably. We're going to invite a guest on. Just kidding. We're just going to look at his video, and he has good points. So he's going to be a pseudo guest. However, this is important. What she's doing is it's no real secret that a lot of women are adverse to like resistance training. And this is because of beauty standards. Women just don't know. Not all of them, right? A lot of them do. In fact, we're going to cover one that does. But a lot of women just don't understand how to train properly. Like, they fall into a lot of situations where they don't know what reps to do or what exercises to do, or like this kind of stuff doesn't actually do anything but burn a little bit of calories. And basically, and I don't know if this is malicious. Right? It might not be malicious. She might just be trying to make money and she likes working out and this is what she does. Not to get this body, because that's bullshit. But it could be like clever marketing with like some stupidity and thinking, oh, the burn equals muscle growth, when that's not the case. But essentially, like, I'm going to assume she's not being malicious here, but you're not really working the back at all. You're taking your arms and back through some motions.
And then pull down.
I complained about her audio levels when I was like, because I mock through these, I want to make sure I can actually like react to them. But, God damn it! Turn down the music so you don't have to turn it down every time you talk. That'd be great. Just turn it down. Everyone can hear the music. Please.
Down. Back. Back.
Okay, yeah. Music's terrible. See what I mean? She's like, turns it up. Oh, I said a word. Turn it down. Oh, I stopped talking. Turn it up. Oh, I talked again. Turn it down. It's really terrible. So we're going to skip to the next one.
He's like, I am doing. So we're going to be doing 4 push-ups.
Okay,
Doing 4 push-ups.
these are not... Alright, hold on. I went to the last one. The last one looks better than it actually is.
You're more than welcome to, or you can come in.
No, I don't do that. Go back to theater mode. I want to like keep her stuff up so we could talk about it. How do I get out of this? Escape. There we go. Anyway. So, like I was saying, check this out.
Your knees like, I.
Okay, let's talk about a push-up form, because your push-up form's crap. Okay, number 1. This is maybe a hot take. Push-ups on your knees are harder than incline push-ups. Why? Because essentially you're changing the focus. It's like saying, oh, well, say you do like a bench press, but you lift your legs. Shouldn't it be easier? No, because you're changing your base of stability. I guess that's the word I will use. I'm sure there's an actual word, but you're changing the base of stability from your toes up to your shoulders, Now it's from your knees to your shoulders. And you need a straight back. Her back is caving in at the lumbar region. So she's cheating herself. Not only that, her shoulders are up, and I don't want to say back because they're not back, but they're not exactly forward. Essentially, when you do a push-up, you should do it kind of like a bench press, but at the very top, you don't need to pin your shoulders down and back. Okay? They should stay down and back, up, 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 and then once your arms get fully extended, then you release your shoulders. That's how you do a full range of motion push-up. With this, your shoulders are like up. This is like amateur push-ups. This is what I did for a long time because you're just trying to get up and down instead of focusing on technique. Now, when you do an incline push-up, you're basically doing the same thing as a push-up. You're not changing the space of, the base of stability, but you are changing the amount of weight you're moving because less of your body weight needs to be supported by your arms because you're more upright. Obviously, you can stand straight up and down and be fine. Now, stand slightly with a slight lean forward, then more, and eventually you're going to fall over. And then you put your hands on like a thing, and then it's like more, and you're going to get heavier. And then once you hit parallel with the ground, normal push-up, then you can go to declines, and the opposite will happen, where you're adding more and more weight until you get to handstand push-ups, whether wall supported or completely in the air. And in that situation, you are lifting, I would probably say, about 100% of your body weight. So it's almost, think of it like a compass. Not a compass, a protractor. I think it's a protractor. Where at 0 degrees, that's when you're standing, and 180 degrees, that's when you're doing a handstand. And as you get closer to 180, you're lifting more of your body weight. When you do a knee push-up, it doesn't translate directly to actually a push-up because essentially it's a different exercise, although it's very similar.
So we're going to be doing
also, yeah, so your shoulders are up, like they're up. When I say back and down, I mean back, like towards your back, and down towards your hips. Her shoulders are back, but not because they should be. Her shoulders are back because she's struggling. And she doesn't have a stable, strong back to support her weight. If you do it right, all these muscles should be tight and like a solid board. So then your shoulders don't do this. They stay right around your armpits, and then you lock them slightly back and then try to pull them closer to your hips. So this is terrible technique all the way around.
doing 4 push-ups, down, and then 4 snow angels.
I don't understand what this is doing for your back. You're getting more glute work than you are your upper back or lower back or any part up here.
Open and then come back to your knees and push up.
Okay, we are getting close to 30 minutes, so we're gonna skip around. We're just gonna talk about the things she does, and then we'll move on. Okay. Okay, what are we doing here?
So let's start in a low plank and come up to a high, down to a low.
I didn't know these were called commandos. Commandos? I think they're called commandos, not common andos. Now I know everyone screws up spelling, but this is just hilarious. I mean, I hope they're not called common andos, because that doesn't sound great at all. That sounds really shit. And then Superman's.
Down and Superman up.
So here's something she's not doing. Okay, so Superman's great back exercise. commandos. I don't know what that has to do with your back at all. That's core. Maybe you could say a little bit of like, around like the back of the core. Maybe you could argue that, sure, but what the biggest failure of this little workout is that you're not doing enough anywhere to make any results. Period. Like, oh, by the way, so she's doing her voiceover after, there's no excuse for the shitty audio. Like, if you're doing it during, whatever. But if you do it after, come on. Come on.
Up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Superman squeeze up. Into
God, your music gets so loud, and I don't really get why. I'm gonna turn down my end. Maybe y'all are having a better time than I am.
So this is going to help to really target those top of the back as well as the lower. So come up into a cobra.
The top of the back as well as the lower. No, it doesn't. Downward dog into cobra. This is mostly a tricep exercise, and you get some mobility work with your back, but we're not really getting much strength or hypertrophy out of this. This is what you would call a bad example of calisthenics.
Cobra position, push back down into.
So yeah, this is, if this is anything, this is like mobile yoga kind of.
Downward dog. Come down, cobra position.
For some reason, I feel like she should be able to do a push-up. I mean, that would be assuming that she actually trains instead of like promoting bullshit, but why not?
Now with this move, I want you to go as slow or as fast as you want, but what you want to make sure with this movement is you are really keeping that navel sucked in, you're controlling your entire body, you're stretching out your entire back, and you really are getting every muscle involved here. This is a controlled movement, but it's going to help.
Are you getting every muscle involved? I don't know. I feel like I could do this without like really, because, well, I'm trained to like I am absolutely trained to like all this tightens up when I do any kind of push-up motion. So maybe I'll get some isometric back stuff and some stretches, but I don't know if like, I don't really know the goal of this.
And we're just twisting the arms. So twist.
Okay, if we're talking about mobility stuff, right? This is like beginner level. As your butt gets closer to your heels, this becomes harder. Number 2.
And look down. Twist and look down.
Whoa. I just noticed something. Hold on. Look. Okay? She's half-assing it. Come on, lady. You're working with people during this. You can't half-ass it. You gotta give your all so people know exactly what they're striving for. Look, perfect rep. Okay? She reached all the way up. Now, honestly, I would go slower and actually really twist the back along with this. Really get a full stretch. However, let's say that was perfect rep. Okay?
So twist and
Perfect rep.
down.
Okay?
Twist.
Why is your head facing this way? You need to focus on twisting. Try to get those arms in line with each other. Head, go that way. Go that way. Here's a huge thing. Huge thing that will help all your training. Try to be as consistent with your reps as possible. I mean consistent. So if you're doing curls, when you curl all the way and the bar grazes your nose just slightly, then do that for every single rep. Until you like get close to failure and you physically can't. You don't really know if you're progressing if you graze your nose one rep, then you're like 5 inches away the next rep, then you're 3 inches away the next rep, then you're 7 inches away the next rep. Try to be as consistent with your reps as possible. Until like obviously you're getting close to technical failure. Then you should probably stop because that's a good place to stop. Technical failure. And that just means when you can no longer keep up the form.
And look.
It's safer than actual failure. Actual failure can be very dangerous. So technical failure is a bit safer in that regard.
Make sure you're really lifting that arm up as high as you can. You're twisting your chest and your body, and you're controlling each movement.
Again, I would probably go a lot slower for these, since this is more of a stretch. I think she's popping these out way too fast.
Great work. Remember, 50 seconds on completing your 5-minute.
Okay, like I said, that was not great, me covering it, but I kind of wanted to bring light on why this is so popular when it really shouldn't be. And this isn't me like shitting on her because she's successful. No, I want her to be better than this. She also sells detox teas and shit, so you can kind of see what kind of person she is. She focuses on women's fitness and health when it's all fad stuff. Now again, I don't know if she's ripping people off. I have no proof of this. However, none of this is like really good stuff. This is all just terrible. She would be better off like giving someone, like going through a yoga routine, or maybe even going through like a ballet style workout, because she does incorporate ballet-esque things in her training videos. But what she's doing now is basically just, it's not ripping you off because you're not giving her money for this. But she's wasting your time. You're not getting anything out of this, but a little bit of activity, which is great. But 5 minutes of activity isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, I wanted to cover that. I see it all the time. I wanted to talk about it real quick. Doesn't mean we're done talking about it, but I don't want to talk about it for a little while. But I want people to know I do see it. I am happy to address it. Anyway, we're done with that video. I don't recommend actually subscribing to her, but I will show you all your stuff. Sign up to see the best program for you here. Should we? Let's do it. I just want to see. I should have prepped this. Discover the best way to get your ideal body based on your female metabolic. Oh my god. Sure, why not? Holy crap. I'm just going to go through some of this. Okay, 20s. Losing fat, toning up. I'm 5 to 15 pounds above my ideal body weight with a few soft areas. So these are basically the same thing. And then I'm skinny and want to add curves to the right area. Let's just see. I'm just curious. Your energy levels throughout the day. Exhausted. Crashing. My energy crashes periodically throughout the day. I wake up tired. Okay, this is lethargic. You need to move more. This might be nutrition type thing. Mealtime dip. My energy levels are pretty good, but can dip before or after meals. I don't know about that one. I don't know enough about that thing. And then excellent. Okay, well, let's just say that. Sure. Also, for a questionnaire based on your female metabolic type, again, she's targeting females who don't know shit. A lot of this seems to be 7 questions to figure out your metabolic type. I don't know about that one. My questionnaire has like 25, and I think it's short, and I want to add more all the time. Which of the following foods do you crave the most? I still don't understand what savory means, but sure. Sweets, candy, I have no cravings. I eat perfectly all the time. Well, you're a liar if you picked that one. I guess I like pizza, but I like meat more. What's the biggest reason you find it challenging to stick to a healthy eating plan? I'm too busy to shop. Time. Okay, fuck you. Like, I've addressed all of these. Like, they're not... I don't see my body quickly changing enough, and it's hard to stay motivated. That's a lot of people. However, don't rely on motivation. build a routine. Rely on motivation long enough to build a routine, and the routine will take you where you need to go. Eating out. I find it challenging to eat healthy when I'm out with friends or family. Okay, real easy solution to this. Try to eat healthy all the rest of the time. That way you don't really have to limit yourself that much when you're out. Unless you're out all the time, then you have different problems. I find healthy foods bland and I miss my old ways of eating. You're probably on a bullshit plan. I'm too busy to shop, prepare, cook meals. I don't believe that at all. You can order healthy food. I don't know why people think you just can't do that. Let's say this one. I've had clients say this to me. What best describes your daily activity levels? Well, this doesn't help at all. I spend most of my day sitting and get very little exercise. Okay, sure. I go for walks and am on my feet throughout the day. I don't know if like lightly active. No, that makes sense. Okay. That's pretty active. Like, I wish these were more specific. It's like, oh, I go for light walks. It's like, I mean, I go for walks. Like, what if it's like a 3-hour walk? That's a lot of activity. And I'm on my feet all throughout the day. That's a good bit of activity depending on what you do. Oh, here we go. How quickly are you ideally looking to get the body you want? Let's click this one. Ah, you want me to answer shit. No. What if I could answer bullshit? No, don't look at all my emails. You can send me crap. Well, that's no good. Well, don't send me a bunch of shit, everyone. I'll have to go back and cut that out, unfortunately. So that sucks. No, stop it. I gotta cut out a lot more now. No, I won't let me bullshit it. Okay, whatever. Oh my god, are you serious? Here's what that means. What does that mean?
Hey there, I'm Holly Dolke. Congratulations on completing the quiz and for taking the first step in transforming your health and your body. Based on your answers, I've determined what your specific female metabolic type is, and I'm going to share some of those tips that you can start using today that will help you reach your goals.
Where's that playing from?
I'll get started in just a moment. But before I do, let me tell you what you can expect from this presentation. First up, I'm going to reveal what your female metabolic type is and how it impacts
Where is that coming from?
Next, I'll show you a couple of tweaks that you can make to your diet that's proven to burn fat for women with your metabolic type. Which, by the way, doesn't involve starving yourself or giving up your favorite foods.
What the fuck?
I'll also reveal the recently discovered youth hormone that is believed to be the key to getting and keeping the body of your dreams.
Okay,
this hormone was discovered by Harvard scientists who labeled it as a major fat burning discovery.
She is doing all the buzzwords.
After finding that it reprograms your body's fat burning cells to burn energy instead of storing it. So I'm going to show you a very specific way to activate this hormone, as well as the shocking reason why almost nobody outside the medical industry has even heard of it. Finally, I'll tell you why traditional exercise is a bad idea for your metabolic type and what to do instead in less than 15 minutes a day that builds a lead.
Okay. That was fucking terrible. Number one, I accidentally showed you all my emails. Don't email me random shit. I'm not going to reply. And also, I'm going to cut that out later. What time is that at? Like, it's about 44 minutes. Okay. So, that's number one. Number two, why was that playing in the background? Number three, because I paused the video, and it was still playing, and it echoed. And I was like, what the hell? That was very weird, because I didn't actually put in an email. I just typed in bullshit. I feel bad for the person with that actual email. Like, what am I getting? What is this? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Bullshit. I needed to get in. Number three, she said a lot of buzzwords. like metabolic. I don't think when people say metabolic, I don't think most of them know what that means, right? Because they just kind of throw that around. She said Harvard scientist. It's like, why don't you give me a name? I prefer a name. Like, here's the thing, okay? Harvard's great. We all know it's great. No one needs to tell anyone it's great. But say, oh, Harvard scientists found this, doesn't mean anything. Number 2, oh, traditional exercise doesn't work for your metabolic body type. How do you know this? Like, how do I know any of these questions mean anything? This is all bullshit. This is what I mean. Actually, I changed my mind. I think she is malicious. I honestly do. Because, well, she's like V-Shred, where she's just a spokesperson for a malicious company, which you could argue might be worse. I don't know. But, okay, number 1. Throwing out buzzwords that people think are smart. Okay, Harvard scientist. Hormone that burns fat. Okay, let me explain how fat burning works. Real simple. Okay, fat is stored energy. Think of it like a savings account. In fact, let me just go all in on that savings account analogy. Think of body fat as a savings account and your daily caloric intake as your regular income, okay? And then you have your daily expenses. Let's go weekly because no one really gets paid daily, okay? So you have your savings account. That's your money that you have stored. You have your weekly income and you have your weekly expenses. Let's say your weekly expenses are $2,000 a week. I know that's really high, but it transfers easier to calories. Okay? And you get paid $2,000 a week. Okay? Perfectly balanced. Your savings will not change because you're spending all the money you're getting. Okay? But let's say your expenses go down to $1,800. Maybe you get a new car that's a little more gas efficient. But you're still getting paid $2,000. Getting paid is like eating. And like your caloric needs going down. I mean, your budget going down. It's like, oh, you're exercising, so you're using up more of that. Wait, no. Just hear me out, okay? So you're getting $2,000, and your caloric expenditure, like you're getting less exercise, so your weekly budget goes down $200. And then you have a $200 surplus. What do you do with it? I know you can spend it, but let's say it goes into savings. Okay, boom. Now your savings is a little bit bigger, so now you're a little bit fatter. Okay? Let's look at another scenario. Your budget goes up $200. Oh, something broke. But you're only getting paid $2,000 a week still. So now you're going to have to dip into your savings. So if you're burning more calories than what you're eating, you're going to have to dip into those fat stores. Okay? Scenario 3. Your budget doesn't change. But you're getting paid less. Something happened, you're going to have to take a pay cut. Now you're going to have to dip into savings more. So now you're eating less, you're dipping into your fat stores more. Okay? Scenario 4. You're getting paid more. Okay? Oh, I'm getting more money. But I don't need it for my weekly expenses. Goes into savings. Now you get a little bit more fatter. You're eating a little bit more. Scenario 5. You're taking a pay cut and your expenses go up. You're dipping into that savings account more. So you're adding more exercise and you're eating a little bit less. You're going to dip into those fat stores more. Now, no matter the scenario, your body will balance out and you're going to have to adjust. And eventually you're going to hit that point where you're nice and happy. And then you just have to maintain. Right? You don't want to dip too far in one direction because then you hit bad zone. You want to find a nice balance where you're happy and you can live life fine. There is no special hormone that burns fat more. At least not that we've found. People say we did, but whatever. And a lot of the mechanisms people bring up are a function of calories in, calories out. Energy balance. So when it comes to actual fat loss, there's no shortcut. Different hormones and, body types might affect that differently. You might have an easier time. You might have a harder time. But the foundation is the same regardless. So, yeah. I think she might be malicious. I might have to look into that and see what she actually says, because I'm not down for the double audio terrible thing. So, next week, I will get back to you on that. In fact, I might even just write a blog on this kind of stuff, because it's awful and predatory, and I really, really hate it. Anyway, on to the next video. Something a little more positive. Here's an intro. We're going to skip the intro. This is Obi Vincent. He has workouts. He does other stuff. Let me just show you his page, because I think he's a swell dude so far. People say he might be on steroids. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, he does vlogs. He does workouts. He has good fashion. Yeah, pretty swell dude, if you ask me. We're gonna skip his intro, get to his talking points, and we're gonna see what he has to say. Okay? Alrighty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another...
He's very British. He's very British, eh? No, I'm sorry, British people and Australian people, if that accent was so bad that it crossed into Australia land. Now look, Noom. I have mixed feelings about Noom. I need to look into that and have a whole video on it.
Another video. Today's video is leg day. So we're doing some legs today. Barbell.
Gymshark, terrible company, but I like their stuff. I'm not gonna lie, they make some good looking things. And also, if you notice my picturino, I'm a hammerhead shark. Maybe not in real life. Maybe I am. Who knows? You'll never know, because I'm not going to show my face for a while.
Only leg day. Because I've done some dumbbells, done body weights. Because I know a lot of you do have a home gym, and you...
Yes, that's true. A lot of people have a home gym, and as someone who used to have one till recently, yeah, you don't have a lot of equipment. Even if you have like a small machine, you might have like technically a few machines on there, but most of your work comes from barbell work. So I actually think this is super helpful, and a lot of people should get a lot out of it. In fact, I think it's a pretty good video, and I want to explain some things.
We do have barbells and some plates, so I thought, why not do a leg work, a brutal leg workout with just the barbell. I'm actually not even going to use heavy weights, because again, I know not everyone has a lot of plates. So
another fair point. Not everyone has a lot of plates. I think with all of my stuff, I got around 500 pounds, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot for a lot of people, but it was a hassle to get all of that on. And I didn't have a spotter, so I had to pretty much, I couldn't use it most of the time because it was too much weight. I'm going to bring up my gain a little bit. Here we go.
I'm going to show you how you can make light weights hurt like a...
I'm not a huge fan of people going out of their way to make working out hurting, because it sends the wrong message to a lot of people. But yeah, if you are training correctly, it will hurt a bit. However, you need to understand the difference between like pain and pain. That's a weird statement, but there is training pain, and then there's I'm injured pain, and you have to learn the difference. It's hard to describe exactly what the difference is, but as you do train, you'll probably get injured at some point. Hopefully minorly, because those ones, you just take a couple weeks off and you're back. But as you get more experience, you'll be able to tell the difference easier.
Hope you're ready for it. As always, make sure you leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So what I'm going to do is, first we're going to do warm up, and then I'm going to talk through a series of the movements and why I do them. And
I'm not a huge fan of his warm
some
up.
of the benefits.
Sorry, I talked over him. I'm not a huge fan of his warm up, personally. Like, okay, I know anecdotal evidence is something we don't like, but seriously, how many of you have seen someone who never warms up and never has been injured? On the other side, how many of you have seen a person who's always warmed up and still got injured? There's no direct correlation to it. Now, there are benefits to warming up, don't get me wrong, but injury prevention is not specifically one of them.
Certain things that I like to do when performing certain movements. Yeah, let's just get to the warm up. I'm freezing cold.
Wait 1 second. Now, again, I don't like the overall warm-up before you actually work out, because you're also going to do warm-up sets. But, yeah, there's mobility drills. I don't think there's a problem with any of them. It's absolutely fine. This one's pretty good because we do not squat enough. I started squatting every few minutes not every few minutes, but about every half hour. Obviously, I'm not doing it now because I'm in a podcast and we're talking. But yeah, I try to do some stuff like this to just get down in that squatting position and hold it for a few minutes every couple hours or so. Really good for you. I highly recommend giving it a shot. Shoulder mobility is important for a barbell leg day. So, fair enough. There are exercises that actually work this. It's very common with Olympic lifters. I forgot the name of it, but essentially you get into this position and you're going to shoulder press. Terribly difficult. Like, you might not think it's difficult, but it is. It is a pain to focus on, like, keeping all this nice and tight and wonderful and pressing a bar over your head. Obviously, some hip mobility. Try to make sure those hips are warmed up. And here's something crazy. I'm gonna say it. I like his music. A lot of people's music, when they do like workouts, the music they put in between like their talking points is fucking garbage. You have shitty rap. Sometimes you have really generic rock, which is just as bad as shitty rap. Honestly, you have this. This is real chill. Not a big deal. Just, yeah, we're going through warm up. No biggie. Ooh, dead bugs. Dead bugs are fantastic. I think everyone should incorporate them in bird dogs. They seem like they do the exact same thing, but they're a little different. You'll feel it a little differently when you do them. I don't know what this one is. I've never seen this one. I don't really know the purpose of it, but it is interesting. Oh, there we go. Ankle primer. That is interesting. I've never seen that. I will have to try that one. If anyone's done this one, tell me in the comments. That'd be really interesting to know why you do that. Especially because I have a condition where I have less ankle mobility than your average person because two of my bones in my ankle are fused together. It makes it, back when I played football, American football, it made it very easy for me to roll my ankles. And sometimes it'll be a lot worse than others, and sometimes it'll just be some pain for a little while. But because of the frequency, I was a bit of a liability, and then I ended up having to wear ankle braces anytime I did anything with like a lot of cuts. So rugby, football, that kind of stuff. So, however, like during like regular training, it wasn't a huge deal. So I'm not entirely sure like how bad the fusion is. But during like live practice, I'd always have to wear ankle support or at least double socks, which is ankle support. It's not as it's not as stable as an ankle brace, but it does provide some protection. So if you have some ankle problems, double socks will help a little bit. RDLs, good for the back and glutes. Single leg RDLs. Sorry, I was adjusting my sitting position, but I wanted to talk about this. So, he's gonna do a front squat, and I think this is actually really smart because what I find one of the most difficult parts about the front squat is getting into the front squat position, especially the Olympic lifter style. If you do it like old school bodybuilding, it's a bit easier to get into, but I find that one a lot less stable. I rather have Olympic lifter where I have a longer, basically a longer base for the bar, and it helps it feel more stable. At least for me. Obviously, this is more preference than anything. And then there is the strap method, which I ended up doing so I could get my elbows higher and get a better front rack position. In fact, give me 1 second. Let me adjust my chair real quick. I'll mute the mic so it's not terrible. Okay, I'm back. Let's continue.
Right, so that's the warm-up done. So now we're on to the workout. So the first two exercises, I actually like to use this as prep work as well. So just to prep my body for the main exercises. But it feels like a workout. So we're going to be doing Kang squats. So
these are interesting. I'll let him explain and then I'll talk about it.
Squats, engage your glutes, engage your glutes. So if you've watched my other squat video, you remember when I said, once you engage, you see what happens when you engage? Engage your glutes, hamstrings, your core, hinge down, bend your knee slightly, squat down, come back up again.
So these are kind of weird. I don't really know entirely the purpose of them. They are a combination exercise.
And be very careful with this. Don't go too heavy.
1 second. I have a little vacuum that was going, and I didn't want the mic to catch it, so I paused it. So we're gonna have to go through this a little bit faster because I do want my floors clean.
It is one of those movements that does require a fair bit of mobility, but if you start with the bar and then add some weights, that's absolutely perfect. It is a great way to open up your hips as well.
So if we are going to use this as a move to open up your hips, then there are a couple things I would like to consider. Number one, might be the more important point, is that this movement seems highly technical, and you're not going to use a lot of weight on this. You might use some, but I would probably not even go above like 135, just because like it adding a lot of weight seems to would probably turn this into an injury waiting to happen. That's just me. Maybe that's not the truth, but it does seem like that.
And it's also a great lower back exercise. And then the next exercise will be a barbell Cossack squats. Make sure you start with the barbell to get...
So this just looks like side lunges to me, but Cossack squat. Maybe that's actually the name. Instead of side lunges, it's actually called a Cossack squat. Or it has to do with your feet angle. I'm not entirely sure. But again, another great exercise. Highly recommend it if you have the mobility for it. Definitely opens up the hips, works the quads, works the inner thigh. Everyone talks about they want to work the inner thigh. This one will work that.
Get you familiar with the movement as the first set, and then you can add some weights. Don't go too heavy on this. So always make sure you engage your glutes and your hamstrings as well as your core before you go down. Try not to let your chest fall too far.
That's a good point. Don't let your chest fall too far forward. You will put too much strain on the lower back. That's always a bad sign.
Forward, so try and keep your chest upright if you can, and make sure that you are using your glutes and your hamstrings to bring you back up from that squat position. Will be...
Yeah, we are skipping ahead because I do want to, I want to make sure we get to this video, which will start at the beginning. Oh man, I'm getting another ad. Well, we'll play the ad in the background so they get ad money, and we'll let it play in the back. Okay.
Barbell back squats. We're not going to go heavy on this.
Okay, so he has his heels elevated, which there's a very good reason why you should, especially if you are taller or have longer legs. I'm curious. Well, I have seen this, but when he gets to that point, we'll talk about it real quick.
But you know why in a second. So we're going to start with barbell, heel elevated, narrow stance barbell squats. And watch carefully because the tempo is key on this. Watch how...
So yeah, first point, he does a lot of tempo work. Now, it's not really a debate. It's more like half people believe this, half people believe this, and really the answer is both. But a lot of people believe time under tension is really what drives hypertrophy, basically muscle growth. And while that is true, it's not entirely the whole story. Time under tension is basically just saying, it's the idea of how long are your muscles working accumulatively over a workout. So think of it like this. He's going 3 seconds eccentric and 3 seconds concentric. So that's 6 seconds per rep. Let's say he's doing 12 reps. Okay. So that's 72 seconds of time under tension. And that would be pretty good in a lot of people's opinion. However, the thing with time under tension is that it's not a perfect scheme. Because guess what? Also, guess how... I have to think about what I have to say here. Guess what? Number one, it's pretty difficult to time. Because what if you take a second to adjust or whatever? Mike Israetel covers this really well. And I am parroting a lot of his points here. But essentially, what happens here is that he goes all the way down 3 seconds and he comes all the way up 3 seconds, 6 seconds. However, say you can only do 12 reps of that. That's 72 seconds. How many reps can you do in 72 seconds if you went normal tempo? Probably a lot more. And in research, it'll show that, oh yeah, so if you match reps, if you do normal tempo versus slow tempo, 12 reps, 12 reps, the slow tempo will build more muscle. However, the reason is not what you think. It's not because he's not under tension longer. The reason is he's closer to failure in the slower reps. If you go close to failure in the normal tempo, you'll get similar muscle growth. So the real effect of time under tension is not superior to going fast reps. As long as you're going close to failure, you'll get a lot of muscle growth out of your reps. In fact, faster reps recruit more muscle fibers. So, what's the lesson here? Well, there's no real lesson, except for that kind of do what you feel more comfortable with. Because obviously, if you do slow reps, you don't have to do as many, which is really good if, say, you have a lingering injury. I have bum elbows. Not bum elbows, but they hurt from time to time. So doing slower reps helps me because I could do fewer. So I'm not going through the full range of motion over and over again. But I am getting close to failure. While someone else, they could be like, well, I don't really have any injury or anything like that. I just prefer going slower. It's like, okay, then go slower. It also, here's a big benefit. It shows more control. It's harder to be injured if you're going slow. So there is a benefit to going a bit slower rather than being super explosive. Being super explosive is a risk. Yes, you will recruit more muscle fibers, but you do increase the risk of injury. Probably marginally, depending on the exercise. But yeah, this isn't like the magic to getting bigger. It's just one method, which is pretty sweet.
How slow I'm going down and when I come back up. So with the squat, the reason I like to have my heel elevated is because it's if you don't have good ankle mobility, this is perfect.
Yes, that is very true.
And having my feet narrow means I can target.
Okay, he never went to B. Let me explain why B. So it artificially lengthens your tibia, your lower leg, basically. And what that does is it allows you to sit more upright during the squat. Thus, maybe you target the quads more. Or if you're taller or have longer legs, here's what happens. When you're tall or you have longer legs, you tend to lean forward more during the squat because you want to keep the bar over the middle of your foot. And because you have longer legs, you're going to be pushed back further when you squat. So you have to lean forward more to keep the bar in line. What does that do? It adds unnecessary strain to the lower back. That doesn't mean you can't do it, but it will. You run the risk, not so much of injuring your back, especially if you're more experienced, but you do run the risk of having your back be the limiting factor rather than your legs. In that case, you might not get as much out of your leg training as you want. So by elevating your heels, you are artificially lengthening your tibia and essentially counteracting your longer femur, allowing you to sit up more and get less fatigue in your back because you're not straining as much.
My quads a lot more. And then we're going to drop set into, again, the...
So for those of you who don't know, a drop set is basically you do a set and then you take some weight off and then you do a set again immediately after. And you keep going. Well, you can stop at 2, you can stop at 3, you can go all the way till you get to the bar. But essentially you're dropping weight consecutively. So you do a set, drop weight, do the set immediately after. It's a good way to drive hypertrophy as every time you drop weight, you'll be a little bit closer to fatigue. However, you could keep going.
Same thing. Same barbell back squats. And then after the drop set, again, pay attention to the tempo on this, on the drop set, even the second one. The third one's the killer. So the third one's gonna be wall.
So wall sits are a weird exercise. I don't think they're bad. They're isometrics. They have their place and their time. I like them, especially after like some hard leg work. These do produce a lot of force, more than the concentric part of exercises. But yeah, there's nothing really to say here. It's just I don't think they're super beneficial for hypertrophy. They just hurt, and they do add more fatigue on later, so you will be staying closer to failure. So there is benefit to using them. Could he replace this with something better? Sure. But does he have to? Not necessarily.
Wall sits, so anything between 30 to 60 seconds. So start with 30 seconds on the first one. I've got 20 kilo plates on. When you're performing this exercise, remember when I said engage your glutes, engage your quads, engage your core. Make sure you squeeze your quads and your glutes and hamstrings.
That's really funny. So I don't think he's scripting, or he is, and he's trying not to say or I think. So what happens when people tend to do that is that they pause, or they talk slower, and it almost fights the urge to say or even if you don't mean to. Even if you're reading it, it could happen because your brain will be like, fill the dead air real quick. So yeah.
Hamstrings like they owe you money every single rep. Before you go down into the eccentric phase, keep squeezing your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads all the way down and all the way up. Make sure you brace and engage your core as well.
Bracing is very, very important. I did the lip smacking thing. But bracing is super, super important. Please remember to brace. It will help protect your back. Brace on every exercise. Even if it's not a real back straining exercise, the practice will come in handy.
Well, when we perform any type of movements, but especially when it comes to squats.
See? Parroted my point. Well, I guess I parroted his. Yeah, I parroted his technically only by like a year and some months.
If you haven't seen my video on tips, especially when it comes to training your legs, check that out, because I talk about every type of squat variation out there and what you should be doing to help with better engagement, so better mind-muscle connection when you're performing every single exercise. So drop set on the wall.
But I'm thinking, hey, coach, what's your opinion on mind-muscle connection? And I'll tell you, I don't have one at the moment because I need to research it. I don't really have an opinion on it. I have to look into it. I have to learn about it. I think more people should be open to just admitting that they don't understand something. That's what I'm trying to do. It's like, I don't really understand mind-muscle connection all that much. I understand what it is. I don't understand the benefits or the downsides. So that's something I need to look into.
Sits as well, the second and third sets. And when it comes to the wall sits, again, make sure your hips are parallel to your knees. Make sure you're not sitting too high up. Having my hands on my head means you can't cheat by resting your hands on your lap.
Oh no!
So you can either if you have your hands over.
No. We're gonna play the ad because I think it's fine for him to make money. So, but yeah, basically we're gonna pop open the screen and I'm just gonna let the ad play in the background. Basically, it's the Shunyun 2020 thingy in my general state. It's really pretty. Like, I would totally go to this. This is a 4-minute ad. I'm not letting the whole thing play, but I'll let a couple minutes play because we can talk about what we've seen so far. So, obviously, the Holy Dolke was a shit show, and I need to dismantle that whole thing. The Obi stuff has been pretty good so far. There's not a lot of stuff that I'd say absolutely don't do. The close stance squats. I talked about the time under tension and the tempo stuff, but I didn't really talk about the close stance. So with the close stance, the idea here is that the closer your feet are, the more your quads will be focused. And this is true. I found this to be true. A lot of people find this to be true. However, it can be hard for a lot of people to get into because of the ankle mobility issue. I find that you can kind of counteract your mobility with a wider stance. Obviously, there's a limit. But with a wider stance, you can counteract the mobility a little bit. But if you're going to do close stance squats, I highly recommend a high heel lift. It'd be very helpful overall to your ability to squat. Yeah, to your ability to squat. So, it's real interesting. It's real interesting. I didn't want to always just shit on videos because I think there's a lot that people have to offer. And I think this is one of the better ones. I think this is a pretty good workout. Obviously, the problem with workouts is that they don't really consider progressive overload all the time. And they don't explain to you how you progress on this or that, assuming you just increase weight. But, it is fascinating. They're talking about a bunch of diversity shit in this ad. So, yeah, that's enough of that. Let's skip it and get back to the video. Because I have to take a shit.
On the side of your head, or you can have them hanging down to your side, but have your hands over your head. So next up we have the Bulgarian split squats. We are
probably, if I had to say, there is an exercise that everyone should do if you can do it, it's Bulgarian split squats. They are so good. Even with weight, without weight, with dumbbells, with a barbell, with a kettlebell, with bands. Bulgarian split squat is honestly just one of those exercises that I think everyone should do. It is so fantastic. Like, honestly, please incorporate it into your training if you can.
Are doing, again, very slow tempo. On this one, pay very careful attention to the tempo on this. Nice and slowly down. Even when coming back up, you want to take at least the 1 to 2 second up. So not as quick as you can back up. I know that is what every one of us wants to do because it's probably one of the most painful exercise, but I'm making it even.
Again, not a huge fan of talking about how painful an exercise is. I rather you just, I rather you avoid that. Talk about how much activation you get. Don't scare people about workouts. Like, it's kind of a meme in gym culture to be like, oh yeah, this workout sucks. When really it's like, yeah, no, that's a really good training session. But it does hurt. But I don't think it's a great idea to kind of scare people. I don't know his audience. But yeah, I would avoid using that language.
And worse for you. So keep the weight light, chest up, engage your core, engage your glutes and your hamstrings.
I am absolutely sure he has a video talking about engaging your core. I hope he does. There's a lot of good ones out there. There are a lot of subpar ones where they just say tighten your core when that's not exactly the case. I think I'll talk about one of these days what bracing actually means, or we'll watch a video and we'll discuss it and talk about it. But I'm afraid because if it's a really good one, I might not have that much to say.
So when you go down, keep that tension on your glutes and your hamstrings. Keep it engaged, activate it, keep it squeezed through.
It is activated while you're working, so that was a little redundant, but let's not bully him about it.
Throughout the exercise. When you're coming back up during the concentric, again, try and use your glutes and your hamstrings to bring you all the way back up. Don't forget, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Quick shout out to my sponsors, Whoop.
Sponsorship. We'll watch through it. It's only fair. Maybe some of you will like whatever Whoop is. I don't know. Let's see.
Which is the fitness tracker I use. Look at this beautiful little strap that I wear, which is connected to my phone, which monitors my strain, my recovery, my sleep.
So I'm gonna shit on fitness trackers a little bit, and no, I do love them, and I think they're really great, but I gotta shit on them real quick. So fitness trackers, they tend to track a lot of things that they can't realistically track, but they make you feel good. And the best part about them, if they're pretty consistent, you can use them as a tracking tool, but the numbers aren't accurate. But the changes may not be inaccurate, so I don't know. But yeah, I think fitness trackers are kind of shit, but I also love them because they do a lot of good. And a lot of them are very stylish, and I am very much about looking good.
Sleep, 60%, not bad. My sleep, and of course, I have a Break the Mold team. So if you are on Whoop, make sure you get involved. Where am I on recovery? I'm 84th in my own group. There's about 500 of us. So for a discount on Whoop, Obi gets you 50.
Well, at least he uses this thing, it seems like. Whoop is, I would have to look into it to give it a full analysis. Just know a lot of them are a little inaccurate, but that's okay.
15% off your membership. You can join the Whoop gang, join the Break the Mold team, and yeah, make sure you get involved. And if you do get some Whoop, make sure you tag me as well on Instagram. So back to the video. Now, with the calf raises, of course, we don't have.
Nobody trains calves. I mean, I don't, but I was also blessed with fantastic calves. So, my girlfriend, when we first met, before we started dating, she said I had baby mama calves. I was so offended because no one has ever insulted my calves before her. And look at us now, 5 years later. So, no, actually, that's 6 years later because we didn't start dating for like a year and a half. So, yeah, look at that. Just goes to show, if everyone says your calves are fantastic, but some woman says they're kind of crap, she might be the one. Who knows?
Calf machines at home or in our garage gym. If you do, that's awesome. If you notice,
Barbell only workout? You liar. But that's fine. Yeah, usually if you're going to do calf work, you want to create some kind of deficit so you get the full stretch and contraction. Because if you just work on the ground, you might not get the full stretch.
again, I am at a slight deficit. So standing on the edge of the 20 kilos gives me more of a deficit, which increases range of motion, which means we can
We're going to skip ahead a little bit because we
exactly
are at about an hour and a half. And I do want to get to this last video.
Okay, final two exercises. The first one will be front squats.
Fantastic exercise. I think everyone should do it if you can.
Now, I am learning to have a front rack. I don't have, well, it's getting better. If you can't do a normal front rack.
Front racks are very difficult to do. You need the flexibility in your wrists, and you need to be able to keep your elbows high. His are dragging a little bit, but he's still doing pretty good. Upper back strength needs to be there because this will strain your upper back. Like, this bar will be trying to pull you down. You need to fight it as hard as you can with your upper back.
You can crisscross, old school bodybuilder style.
Alternatives are always great to include in your workouts because not everyone can do everything you can do.
It's absolutely fine. If you notice, I've got my lifters on because ankle mobility doing front.
Yeah, so he has squatting shoes on, so they have an elevated heel, which does the same thing as putting a plate behind your heels. He probably did both for the elevated close stance squats, which is like fine. Like close stance, like I said, ankle mobility will be your limiting factor a lot of times. So adding a bit more elevation is not a bad idea at all.
Squats is not the best. So rather than trying to fight it and, you know, perform the movement weird and dodgy, I'd rather just put my lifters on to perform the exercise.
Yeah, he looks like he has pretty long legs. Like, I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse, but I have kind of short legs. They're not like super short, but they're a little short. So I could do front squats really easily. And I could probably do like really upright back squats really easily, but I never realized that in football, that I have short legs and I could get like a lot out of like upright back squats. Like I think his name's Dorian Yates, or is it Ed Cohen? One of those two did very upright squats, and they have huge quads. I should have been taking advantage of that, but I never did. Now I have to. So it's always interesting what you learn through learning.
Squats are a very, very quad dominant exercise. So if you want big as F quads, perform front squats. We're doing a deficit.
I'm not gay, but he has a nice butt.
Reverse lunge. So deficit, just because.
So reverse lunges, great exercise, especially if you have like knee pain, because it's a closed circuit, basically meaning the part you move, the muscle that you're working and the connecting parts to it do not move from the ground. So there's no impact on the knee. So it's really good, especially if you have like some amount of knee pain.
I'm trying to increase range of motion on the exercise to make my quads and my glutes work harder when during the eccentric. Okay, so nice and slow on the eccentric. Again, use your glutes, use your hamstrings.
Nice. Doing a little, like very slight knee tap
to bring you back up. The best thing about front squats is it always feels like you've done an ab exercise. Why? Because it forces you to engage.
Yes, that's another true point. Your core, the back of your core, this whole thing, like your back and your abs, this whole section right here is your core. Because of the nature of the front squat, your core is going to work very hard to keep you upright. So it's very nice. It is a more, I would call it a more complete exercise than the back squat. But back squat's more popular. It is what it is.
Your core. If you don't engage your core, you will fall over when doing heavy front squats. It forces you to stay upright. So remember what I've been saying all this time in the video. If you don't remember, let me remind you again. Engage, embrace your core, engage your glutes, engage your hamstrings before you perform the exercise.
He means like at the top of the exercise. So like you go up, engage everything, come down, come back up.
So you're going to superset this 2 movements, and yeah, it's.
And then he does a Metcon. This is a metabolic conditioning. Again, I don't know enough about this to give a very solid opinion about it, but it's conditioning regardless. So we'll watch this real quick. EMOM is basically every minute on the minute. So you're going to do a set of exercises for a minute. The faster you get it done, the more rest you get, because as soon as the next minute starts, you're starting again. So if you go slow, you're getting no rest. But if you go very fast, you're getting some rest. You're not getting plenty. Okay, deadlifts. He's a CrossFitter, so he does everything fast for no reason. Okay, deadlifts into front squats. Super lightweight, so he can do this. Remember, this is conditioning, not strength training. So his goal is to go as fast as he can. Squat thrusters. This is a very, very popular CrossFitter training exercise. And he rests, and then he does it again at the next minute. Like I said, very effective conditioning. pretty much the end of the video. We're gonna skip to the actual end.
That was hard. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions, any feedback, leave a comment. That would be awesome. Don't forget to like this video. It helps me out massively, and I appreciate you so much for doing so. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys later. Peace out.
I like this guy, so we're gonna like his video. Anyway, go check out Obi Vincent. He, from what I've seen, he's pretty good. Like, he's definitely one of the better fit, like, workout YouTuber people. Not kinesiology YouTubers. I'm gonna separate those because there's coaching, and there's workout people, and then there's etc. I'm talking about just workout people. He's pretty good. He has everything right here. I wish he put percentages and stuff, but or at least RPE or reps in reserve. But whole workouts right here. A lot of exercises, but a lot of them are circuits, so it's not a big deal in my opinion. You know, he has his music right here. People do like his stuff. He interacts with his community, it seems, at least a little bit. Probably busy interacting with his community in other stuff. But yeah, this is a really good workout. I really enjoyed it. I didn't do it, but I enjoyed what he provided. Good stuff. Give him a follow, a subscribe, or at least check out his stuff. It's really good stuff. All right, next up we have Hillary Chilton. Okay, so Hillary Chilton, fitness. That's her name. She has plenty of videos. She has glute exercises and other bullshit all around. I really have to go to the bathroom. So we are going to go through this a little bit faster, but we are going to pause and we're going to talk about things she does. It's muted. Let's unmute it. Yeah. Hunter. Did I call her Hillary? It's Hunter. It's Hunter Chilton. Okay. Let's see. There's a little description. The workout. Again, no RPE, no RIR. I wish they would add that. I would really appreciate that. Obviously, she's very woman-focused. Most of her audience is women. That's positivity. Okay, let's check it out. Let's talk about power building workout. Power building, that is a bullshit term that we all made up to make ourselves feel better because we want to do powerlifting, but we don't want to commit to doing powerlifting meets. Don't worry, I do too. I'm not being a hypocrite. Okay, let's do it.
Taken me a little bit to get a new video up, but your girl's been busy. So for today's workout, I'm gonna give you all some.
Okay, I like this. So she is like, oh, screenshot it, although it's in the description, so that's pointless. But essentially, if you're a lazy, stupid person who doesn't read the description, or you just don't read the description, because if I wasn't like doing a video, I wouldn't show you all it. But yeah, so we have barbells, squats, leg press, Bulgarian split squats, fantastic, leg extensions, okay, Smith machine, narrow stance squats, interesting.
Some pure, honest, brutal strength training. Today, you will all see me going through a power building session I had programmed for myself while on the journey to building back up my squat and overall quads. So other than my rest periods when I'm resting between sets, I did cut that out, but...
Okay, let's talk about her squat real quick. Actually, there's a better angle, but she is very forward-leaning. She didn't quite hit parallel. She's quite above parallel right now. She could get a bit deeper to hit parallel, but she's good morning her squat quite a bit.
But I left the footage as real, as raw as I possibly...
Now this is a year old, so perhaps she has corrected this, but interestingly enough. Oh, look at that. Why college athletes are weak. That's something I have to watch at some point.
could, so you guys can really see me go through my entire workout, start to finish, every single set. And And so with every single set, I do make sure to put up the
Yeah. Well, hold on. I might have been wrong about the parallel thing, but she is definitely good morning her squats.
single set. And so with every single
I didn't pause right on it, but she might have just tapped parallel.
set, I do make sure to put up.
Oh yeah, no, she is hitting depth, but she is good morning the shit out of her squat. Like, so is she wearing squat shoes? I can't tell, but it would be nice if she did, because god damn, you are good morning the fuck out of your
set
squat.
Number I'm on, how many reps I'm doing, and I did also include the weight that I'm using for that set. No, I am not
But she is definitely hitting depth. I wish she strained her back a little less.
instructing you to use that weight. That is solely the weight that I am.
Thank you. That is awesome. She's like, hey, I'm not telling you to use this weight. This is the weight I'm using. That is awesome. Thank you. Because some people will get so confused. They'll be like, oh my God, it's so heavy. It's like, that's not the weight for you. Now, of course, I wish you would put RIR or percentage or anything next to these to help out a lot. But it be how it be. It's a common criticism I have for a lot of these workout videos.
Using, just because I know a lot of people ask what weights I'm.
It's interesting because with programming videos, they always include RIR or RPE or percentage of 1 rep max. But for actual workout videos, so many people forget this. I'm gonna cover one of my favorite YouTubers at some point because I think his videos are fantastic and his workouts are great, and he deserves more exposure. Now, of course, I don't have a big following, but I'm gonna cover him anyway because I love him.
I am using because they're just curious, so I'm just putting it up there just for the sole purpose of this video being focused on strength training and just raw real footage. So
Raw and real footage. Double up those words for no reason at all.
just wanted to throw that up there for that reason only, but please use the weights that are for your strength level only.
Wait, this is a better angle. Okay, so when I say good morning, her squat, I mean she's leaning so far forward. It looks like I can't tell if she's arching her back. If she is arching her back, do not do that. Try to keep your back like the normal curvature of your back and brace around it. So when it comes to bracing, it's not so much squeezing your core. Oh, I hit the mic. Hope you're okay. It's not so much squeezing your core, it's filling up your core with air and then clamping down on it. And essentially making this, the can analogy is really good. If you don't know what that is, look up the bracing cannonball breathing is really good. The can analogy is really good. But essentially you want to fill up your stomach with air. Obviously it's not your stomach, it's your lungs, but the idea is fill up your stomach with air and then squeeze down. It'll create like a can. It'll protect your back and your core and everything else like that.
About warming up, make sure you are properly warming up before you begin.
Yeah, she's just like, she is leaning so far forward. I can't tell if she's wearing squat shoes. She might be. Let's see.
Lifting and
so she looks like she has really long legs, so it might just be a problem that she can't fix. But I would presume if she had like maybe like small plates under her heels, or if she's not wearing squatting shoes, to wear squatting shoes to help with that forward lean, because she's leaning forward a lot.
And before you squat, make sure you get some warm-up sets in before you get into your working sets. So as you guys see, there are 5 working sets up here in the workout, but that is not including the
those don't look like squatting shoes. They look like lifting shoes. So you might be wondering, what's the difference between a squatting shoe and a lifting shoe? A lifting shoe is very flat on the bottom. Gives you a very, you have no arch, it's very flat, so you have a very solid place to push off of. A squatting shoe is basically that, but your heels are elevated for the reasons I've outlined before about the benefits of elevating your heels for squats.
I did prior to build up to that first set of working weight. Everybody's warm-up set scheme is different. Everybody has different preferences, whether they like a lengthy warm-up scheme, they like a short and simple.
Yeah, these are lifting shoes. They are not squatting shoes.
Doesn't matter. Just make sure you get some repetitions underneath your belt. Get that body primed.
She said underneath her belt while she's wearing a belt. I can't tell what brand it is. It doesn't look like a heavy-duty lifting belt. It looks like a little Velcro boy.
Get all your form cues down and you feel really solid with the movement as you slowly increase to get to that working weight. You never just want to jump right in.
Yeah, by the way, if you do want to like build up your quads more, yeah, you do want to elevate your heels a little bit. Try to sit more upright in your squat. But she seemingly has long legs for her torso. So.
To your working weight without warming up first.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Oh, shitty rap. We're going to mute that because I hate shitty rap. In fact, we're going to skip ahead. Nope, still shitty rap. Let's see. Oh, 225. That's pretty good. Let's see where the tops.
Set. So with this, if you're going to do this, I really recommend you have a spotter just
What is she
in
doing?
case you fail, or you have safety bars next to you. Whatever you gotta do.
What is this? And then a drop AMRAP. I kind of think this is a little unnecessary at this point. If you're going heavy enough, I think this might be a little unnecessary. Because these are a lot of sets. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 sets. And then 1, 2. There's 5. So at 17 sets. And then 2. That's 19 sets. And then that's 21 sets. So it's not that many, but it seems like a lot.
But just to be safe, because this is really brutal. At first, it feels
Yeah, look how far she's leaning forward. Because like you have all this room to go down, but she's mostly leaning forward. So I don't know. There's something in her squat that she could probably improve to get more depth this way instead of like forward leaning.
a little bit lighter, obviously, because you dropped the weight, but it catches up with you very quickly.
Yeah, she did not go
You'll
down
see
deep
I'm
enough on that
really
one.
grinding to just push out every rep possible.
Not on that one. Yeah, so if she, I don't know exactly the problem here. Right? I would say elevated heels, because ankle mobility, that would probably be the first thing I would go after. Either improve ankle mobility or elevate your heels more so you can get further down instead of leaning forward so much.
Shit do not come with no practice. Recipe, passion, and liquor with
Let's
God in the passenger.
go.
Brown, shake up the stimulation. Reshape the sound.
I want to get the next exercise.
Keeps my feet from sliding. But with these, I did one prior warm-up set with a plate, and
Okay, so let's talk about these. If this is her working set, this is shit. She's going too fast. And the reason why I know she's going too fast is because, look at
then
this.
I went into my working sets, which you are now seeing here.
And it's not speed that really matters, it's how close to failure you get. But she needs to go deeper. Like, her knees, I'm going to say this, it might be weird. Her knees need to be touching her tits. Pretty much, like, really get in there. Full range of motion as far as you can. If you want to spread out your if you don't want to touch your tits, if you don't, that joke got ruined because I talked too fast. If you don't want to touch your knees to your tits, widen your legs a little bit and get in deep. Deeper. You want to get deep with this exercise. Come on.
So I did 15 reps, 12, 10, 8 with a double drop set on the last set, which you will see coming up. Now, with leg presses, you want to go down as far as your mobility allows, meaning as low as you can go with.
So, I am going to assume, if she's saying that because she knows better, because it sounds like she knows better, that this is where her mobility goes, and she really needs to work on her mobility. Because you could go deeper than this. Come on.
Without your lower back rounding and your butt coming off the seat. I know it's hard to see from this angle, but I personally know that when I go down and my quads hit my torso, that is about the depth I can maintain without any butt lifting, and so that's what I stick to.
Okay. Maybe the bad... Okay. She's saying maybe it's bad angle. And that, if that is the case, pick a better angle so it supports what you're saying, so people can see. I mean, if your boyfriend is here and he is helping you out a little bit, he can at least you can at least film one set where you can show how deep you're actually going. Shitty rap. We're gonna skip that.
Of course, if not, it's okay. Just drop the weight yourself and just do that as quickly as you can and get right back.
Another drop set. I'm not a huge fan of doing that at this point, but you know, whatever.
Back into it, but I do have my boyfriend there so that he can drop the weight how I like it to be dropped.
See, if he's gonna stay here anyway, he could give you a better angle. Come on now, come on. You just need one set to show you're hitting the depth you're saying you are.
And then I can just get right back into it. And holy heck, this freaking burns. But if y'all are gonna try this, I know y'all got it.
I know y'all got it. I don't like that at all. Nope. I ain't a fan of that, but whatever. No. I'm gonna explain why I'm not a fan of that. You're not adding any percentages or like RIR or RPE, no self-regulation. So I don't know. Maybe people will try the wrong weight and then they won't be able to get it. Like, you need to provide more information so then people can try this better. Like, this is a huge gripe I have with a lot of lifting videos. It's that they just have the workout, but they don't have percentages or like anything like that. Come on. Oh yeah, shitty rap. We skipped that. We don't like shitty rap here.
These quad days, I will either just end my workout with the...
Okay, so supported Bulgarian split squats. I like these a lot too. Basically, you're taking out the problem of balance. Because balance is a problem for a lot of people, especially if you're a bit overweight. Just by holding on to something, you remove that issue and you can focus on the actual movement. She has... I can't tell what weight that is. Oh, nope, right here, 50 pounds. 50 pounds, same side. Depending on where you hold the weight will determine certain things. I have to look up what your weight position does again. I don't remember, so I'm not going to tell you what it does. Just for... I don't want to give you misinformation, but I do know it does make a small difference depending on where you hold it.
Extension split squat superset that I showed in my last video I put up before this one, or on sessions where I feel like I got a bit more left in me, I will do things this way.
So if you want to focus on your quads a little bit more on Bulgarian split squats.
Starting with Bulgarian split squats, I use a closer stance to prioritize the quads.
I would say try to sit up more upwards. Either that or back has a lot of curvature, which you might want to check out. Like at a doctor, not check her out, you perverts.
And I do a double drop set again, each set here using an 888 rep scheme. First,
I think what's his name? His name's Mountain Dog on YouTube. He passed away not too long ago, but his videos are still up because they are very helpful. He came up with a Bulgarian split squat drop set where you do like one weight, you go, I think it's 10 reps or close to failure, drop it, pick up a lighter weight, drop it after you finish the set, and you keep going all the way to you have no weight, and then you go as hard as you can, and then you finish, and then obviously you do the other leg, which is where you're like, oh man, because your back leg does do some work. It's not completely work free.
With the main heavy weight, then half that weight, and then body weight. I do use kettlebells, but you can use...
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, this is basically a mini version of that. So...
whatever form of resistance.
If you're going to do so little weights, I would honestly say don't stick to flat sets. Try to get closer to failure. Obviously, this will probably be close-ish to failure. But what she could probably do is try to slow down these body weight reps so she gets a little bit closer to failure with them.
variations that you would like. Now, the first set of this that you guys see me do, I had originally programmed 777, but it was just a tiny bit under what I truly knew I was capable of if I really gave it my all. So I did up it to 888 for the last two, and it was perfect. So since these are double drop set style sets each time, the burn catches up with you very
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Burn does not mean working. That doesn't mean when you're working you won't burn, but focusing on the burn is not a great idea. I like to focus on trying to get close to failure. And that does mean you will hit the burn, but when you say, oh, the burn will catch up to you, it's like, ignore that shit. Try to get close to failure where you start noticing your reps are slowing down. You're not as explosive, or your form, you're finding it tougher and tougher to keep your form. That's better. That's a better marker of, hey, I'm doing more work.
quickly, which is why I definitely would suggest pumping the reps out, obviously hitting full depth.
See, he's saying, oh, pump the reps out because of the burn. It's like, no. Ignore it the best you can and try to get closer to failure. I would say that instead of try to pump these out, go slower, have more control, and really try to get that full range of motion. Go as deep as you can. I like really deep Bulgarian split squats. They aren't for everyone, and I wouldn't do them all the time, but they are very helpful. Just really try to get down in there. Slow down so you can show that you have control over the weight. That's very important. Of course, you're supported, so you're not really worried about balance as much. So focus on full range of motion, getting as many as you can before your form starts to break down. Because it will break down. Like, these are tough exercises. Even body weight, they are tough.
Full ROM, but just pumping them out to get through each set is going to be your best bet to make sure that you can get through everything.
Okay, this might be a hot take. I don't care if you can finish the set if you get close to failure. Like, if you're close to failure and you don't finish the set, I'm absolutely okay with that. You can work towards finishing the set. But if you finish the set any way you can, you might run the risk of injury. You might not get as much work as you could, etc.
It's plenty of volume to ensure that your quads are under tension for a enough amount of time. But
yeah, see, she understands how time under tension works. It's not entirely about the speed of your reps. It's about, well, I mean, it's accumulative. But again, we want to get close to failure. That's the goal here, especially for hypertrophy.
It's definitely a necessity. But with that being said, I love wearing my lifting shoes for this exercise as well, because it just gives me the stability that I want on that front working leg. All my other shoes, flat shoes, runner shoes, any type of shoes, they all suck. I just love wearing these. Pretty
much, yeah. Lifting shoes, even flats, depends on what you mean by flats. They do give you a lot of support. Yeah, you don't. Running shoes are not great for lifting. And just like that, lifting shoes aren't great for running. Honestly, I don't think most running shoes are great for running. I like minimalist shoes, but that's just me. I don't have research that they are better overall.
For this, and so that is what I do. But with that, they are extremely 30 seconds before in between.
I really have to go take a shit, so we're gonna like kind of rush through this a little bit. But I do want to cover all the exercises. She went through all of her sets. Wow.
Much emphasis on the quads as possible. Treat it more so as just like burning out every last bit I can on the quads.
Go lower. Up. No. Try to keep that consistent end point and start point. Come on, lady.
So as you just saw there, I do the extensions. I immediately get off and walk right to the Smith machine and then get it done. Now, obviously, if you work out in a really busy gym.
Oh, she did do extensions, but I'm not.
any weight to the Smith machine. It's just body weight, but I do like using the Smith machine as kind of a guide to make sure I'm staying completely upright.
It's not body weight
1080,
because you
get
have a
off,
bar
walk
here.
right to the Smith machine.
So, yeah. She did say that. Go watch the video. I'm in a rush. I gotta die, so. Okay. So, although I had a a few criticisms, I still think that she is a perfectly good YouTuber to follow. Workout's fine. Again, I wish you added RPE or reps or whatever. Then, if you want her coaching, maybe go here. I prefer you go to mine. My links are in my own description, but my training style isn't for everyone, just like her training style isn't for everyone. Every coach is a little bit different, and you might like how they train you better than others. There are good coaches, there are bad coaches, and there are different coaches. Different coaches are fine. Good coaches are great. Bad coaches are awful. Yeah, she's just going through it. She went through her training thing. I don't think this is very strength focused. A lot of times strength and hypertrophy do overlap a bit. But yeah, I wish I knew percentages or RPE she was using. But yeah, definitely check her out. I think she's pretty good. This is all the information. Like I said, it says programs here. We get popped to that. I didn't do Obi's. Sorry, Obi. Yeah, that's her physique. Pretty good physique. Get lean, feel strong, 12-week program. I'm going to look. Let's see what I have to pay for. $50 for a 12-week program. Let's see who could do this program. Anyone who's intermediate. Her thing got cut off because she didn't think about that. Nice. $50, not bad. At least 1 year of lifting experience. Obviously I can't see it, and I'm not gonna, not gonna break it so you can see all this stuff. But yeah, I think her training is probably good. It's probably a cookie cutter program. Okay, let's be real. It's not a custom program. You're not selling a custom program for $50. And if you are, fuck you. Stop hurting the rest of us. It's like those artists that undersell commissions and they hurt everyone else who values their work. Like, if you're going to give out a program, here's the thing. This might be a little harsh. If you're going to give a cheap program, give it for free. If you're just beginning, give it for free, get the experience. Charge what it's worth. Now, this is a cookie cutter program. Absolutely. Meaning, if you buy it, you're not getting a different program than if someone else buys it. There are 5 sessions per week, blah, blah, blah. 3 training blocks. Yeah, the rest of it's cut off. This was poorly planned out, Hunter. So, Hunter, if you end up seeing this, fix this, because I can't see the rest of it, and neither can anyone else. So, yeah. But maybe you're interested in this. Check it out. It's $50. It's not bad for a program. If it's good, I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen any reviews on it. But it might be worth checking out. So, yeah, give it a look-see. Anyway, that was the show. I decided to do a couple things differently. If I like a video, I really try to show off the stuff people have and promote them a little bit because, if they are good to decent, I want to give them a little bit of exposure. And while I am a coach and I am ultimately competing for the similar clients they are, there's no real reason to not provide alternatives to my audience. So, yes, I would prefer you buy my coaching. I think mine is better. Obviously, I am biased towards myself, but she has coaching. Let me see. Let me be fair to Obi because Obi deserves to be fair to. Oh, I don't see any coaching here. Spotify, apparel, business inquiries. inquiries. Is that a British thing? Who knows? But yeah, there he is. Oh wait, no, I didn't pull that. There he is. If you're interested in talking to him about stuff, I don't know if he has coaching. Doesn't look like it. He has apparel, so that is something. But yeah, anyway, that is the show. Next week, I don't know what I'm going to cover next week. Like I said, I do want to look at some bullshit like Holly Dolke. Like, she was really bad. But we covered two really good people. These are good workouts. Like I said, I wish they included some kind of self-regulation. But yeah, that's the show. You guys, maybe like and subscribe. I don't know. I want this show to get bigger. I want to keep improving. Eventually, I want to have guests on and just talk to them about stuff. Maybe get some insight. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So we still need to find a name for the show. If you get this far, throw in a name in the comments. Those things that you can type words in. And yeah, this was fun. I like this one. This is my favorite episode so far, although I did have to take a shit like halfway through and we had to rush. I don't think we're going to cover 3 videos anymore. I think we're going to stick to 2. I think 2's a perfect balance. Unless there's a longer video, then we could just do 1 long video. But yeah, anyway, I have to take a huge shit. So I will see y'all next time I stream, which will probably be Sunday, but you never know. I might do an early show. Probably not, though. So don't get your hopes up. Anyway, see y'all later. Have a good one. Get swole or fit or whatever. And toned is a really shitty word. Stop using it.